Good evening. Good evening. If everyone can find their seat, we'll get started. All right, good evening, everyone. If everybody can find their seat. I'm Jill Vaughn. I'm the Smith Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking, and we are so excited to have you on campus tonight. And we want to welcome you to the 12th Annual Texas Bankers Hall of Fame Gala, honoring our 2025 recipients. I offer a big SHSU welcome to each honoree, their family, our guests, and all of our attendees tonight. The Texas Bankers Hall of Fame was established by the Smith Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking in 2013 to provide positive recognition to Texas bankers who have made valuable contributions to the banking profession and have pioneered our industry. As community bankers, they have played vital roles and transformed towns and cities for the better. As we know, strong community and regional banks are the pillars upon which thriving communities stand. These institutions provide the vital access to capital for our state, city, towns, and communities in order to grow and prosper. It's our banking leaders, like we honor tonight and in previous years, that are the heartbeats of these communities, working with families and businesses to fuel growth and opportunity for all. Their legacies, as you will see, run deep, and they have given back to our industry to drive positive influence and change. They've aptly paved the way so that we can all share a common bond for helping others and making a difference through service to our profession. At this time in your program, you can see the complete listing of our prior year's Texas Bankers Hall of Fame inductees, and we're here tonight to recognize those as well as our new inductees tonight. So if you will stand, I'm going to recognize some of our previous honorees or their family member representing them tonight. So I'm going to start with Rogers Pope Jr., son of the 2014 inductee, Rogers Pope Sr. Scott Deeser, a 2015 inductee. Chris Doyle, son of 2015 inductee Charles T. Chuck Doyle. And also Chris is the immediate past chairman of IBAT. Terry Tuggle's here with us tonight, a 2016 inductee. Joe McKinney, 2019 inductee. David Lacey, 2020 inductee and son of 2013 inductee William Lacey. Byron Bexley, son of 2020 inductee Jim Bexley. Jay Drobelbus, 2022 inductee. Ron Butler, 2023 inductee. And Ron is this year's chairman of TBA. Henry Wu, Mr. Wu is the 2024 inductee. And then Vidal Ramirez, 2024 inductee. Now, for our honorees tonight, our new 2025 inductees, Sam H. Burris, Jr., Commissioner Charles G. Cooper, Harvey Hartenstein, Robert W. Bobby Hawksworth, and William A. Nesbitt. Thank you. We look forward to celebrating each of you tonight. I'm going to be back shortly with more introduction and the program. We have a fun and exciting night of celebrations, but please at this time join me in the invocation. Please bow your heads. Father, we gather here today in a spirit of gratitude and celebration. We thank you for the talents, the dedication, and the hard work of all those we honor tonight. Bless this gathering with your presence. May this ceremony not only recognize achievements, but also inspire all of us to continue striving for excellence, integrity, and service. Grant that we celebrate with humility and that we leave here encouraged to use our gifts to lift others and better the world around us. Be with each person here, guide our hearts with joy, our words with kindness, and our lives with purpose. We offer this time and all the good things that come from you. Amen. So I'll be back. Enjoy your dinner and have a night of celebration. And thank you for being here.
Welcome to the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. Celebrating exceptional contributions to banking in Texas. Tonight, we honor Sam Burris, Charles Cooper, Harvey Hartenstein, Bobby Hawksworth, and Bill Nesbitt. Now, please recognize Smith Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking and 2018 Texas Bankers Hall of Fame recipient, Jill Sharp Vaughn.
So good evening again. We're going to get started. We have a full evening, and we want to make sure that we have plenty of time for these festivities. Bankers are used to a working lunch. This is a working dinner, so just continue your dinner as you're being served. What a great night to be together and celebrate bankers for these vast contributions to our industry and their communities. Our own university motto is the measure of a life is its service, which certainly parallels the lives of these honorees, deeply rooted in service to their communities. As you will witness, these inductees have been visionaries, trailblazers that have met the call to be deserving of this recognition. Esteemed honorees, again, we welcome each of you and your families and your friends to our university. At this time, I'm going to honor and welcome a few other special guests, and if the following guests would please stand. We're going to start with Philip Holt, who's chairman of the Finance Commission of Texas. I'm going to recognize Mr. Cooper again as the banking commissioner for the Texas Department of Banking. Bert Lyle, Huntsville City Council member. Matt Bethay, Vice President for University Advancement. Retired Major General David Glazer, Chief Strategy Officer for Sam Houston State University. Dr. Ann Gelliard, Vice Provost. Dean Shar Self, College of Business Administration. Russell Martinez, Associate Vice President for Marketing and Branding. Kevin Freilix, Associate Vice President for Development. Wendy Rodriguez, Deputy Commissioner of the Texas Department of Banking. Greg Wiesen, the Regional Director, Texas Department of Banking. Jared Whitson, Director of Bank and Trust Supervision, the Texas Department of Banking. We just may have a safety and soundness exam tonight, right here. Jesse Sasio, Director of Non-Depository Supervision of Texas Department of Banking. Mary Beth Quist, Senior Vice President Supervision, Conference of State Bank Supervisors. Darren Peschel, Senior Vice President in charge of the Houston Branch, Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Emily Greenwald, Senior Vice President of Banking Supervision and Regulation of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. Matt Vick, Associate Deputy Comptroller of the OCC. See, I told y'all we can just get it all done right here tonight. Chris Furlow and team from TBA, Brent Cox and Mary Lane, Christopher Williston and team, President and CEO of IBAT, Abby Carnes, Julie Courtney, and Kurt Nelson, Sarah Murphy, Performance Trust Capital Partners, Meredith Walker, Executive Director of the Texas Business Hall of Fame, Dory Wiley, President and CEO of Commerce Street Holdings, Ryan Hudson, Chief Credit Officer of Broadway Bank and Smith Hudson Scholars, Retired General James Thurman, United States Army, Dwight Gary, Executive Director, Commercial Banking Program at Texas A&M, no whooping. And we have a number of our wonderful and very dedicated and loyal Smith Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking Advisory Board member. Some of these I've already called back out tonight, but would you please stand and be recognized? In addition to recognizing our current dean, Shar Self, for the College of Business Administration, I would also like to recognize previous deans, Dr. Dean Lewis and Dr. Mitchell Musam. Without their support and vision, the program over the many years would not be what it is today, because actually the program was endowed during Dean Lewis's reign. And we would also like to thank all of our sponsors of this event, those of you that support us financially throughout the year through programs and scholarships. Thank you to our industry friends who lean in and work with us to shape the future of our industry by giving our students so much an opportunity and lead by example. And most especially for working in those JOB degrees, which we're all familiar with. And again, big SHS welcome to each of you. I would also like to thank, we have an incredible administration here that supports us, and our faculty and staff that works day in, day out to support our students, focusing not only on their success, but social mobility. And how do we work and prepare students for the future? That's the whole premise of what our program was actually founded on. It's giving students opportunity and matching that with the talent needs of our industry. Your support, all of you here tonight, helps us fill this banking industry talent pipeline so needed by teaching, nurturing, and preparing students eager to start their careers. If we look back at where our program's success began, we have to thank the Smith Hudson founders for the inspiration back in 1996. There weren't 20 banking programs like there are today. Their vision is to be commended for all that they've done for our industry, as they recognized back in this crucial time in the Texas banking climate that there was an ever-needed need to develop talent for our industry all of these years. Our program alone has benefited over 2,000 students that have been placed into full-time jobs, internships, and if you then put on top of that all these wonderful additional university programs, you really have to thank them for the impact that they have provided to our industry, because now our students are really seeing the opportunity and getting this great chance to be bankers and to seeing you as leaders and the legacy that you've all created. Thank you to TBA for the role you're playing to assist these university efforts. I know Brent Cox is here. He works tirelessly to get these programs started, and not only for funding, but organizational expertise as well. Speaking of hiring, one thing I want to say, and this goes back to when I recruited for many years at the bank, but our Bearcats, since we are here on Sam Houston State University beautiful campus, are known for being hardworking, flexible, resilient, and sticky. A recent survey of the last 10 years of our banking program undergraduate that we placed revealed that our respondents, 67%, Think of that. 67% has not changed employers since graduation. It's pretty incredible. This certainly attests to their dedication and loyalty in the workplace, and a tribute to the dividend that this program has provided to so many. Our EMBA program, our Executive MBA, also is established as a second part of our important mission when our program was founded, to help educate and provide bankers professional development through their careers, and it really makes the chain of education complete for us. We have over 200 graduates of that program, so I'm going to ask at this time our alumni, both undergraduate and graduate, to please stand and let us clap for you. Wow, that's pretty incredible. You can't see what I see. A lot of people in the room. Now, we couldn't do this event without our current students, and they're getting ready to start finals, but we're so proud of our students that help and support our program, and they give back to this university. And will our current undergraduate and graduate banking students please stand as well and let us recognize you. I hope you got the chance to meet many of those tonight. This is certainly not in any order of importance, because our success would not be possible without our team. You will not find a more dedicated team that works day in, day out for student success than our staff. Dr. Bexley, our amazing founder, created an incredible legacy, and it's so humbling to fill his shoes. But I have to say his top accomplishment was putting together the team that he assembled here. Pam Thaler, Jacqueline Cawthon, and Dr. Nenninger, please stand and let us recognize you for your years of hard work and your dedication to our program. And now a very special recognition to Pam Thaler. Pam, will you stand? So Pam has been here over 26 years. In October would mark her 27th year at our university. But in August, she's going to retire. She has influenced the lives of literally thousands of students. I can walk in and say, hey, I saw this student, and she goes, oh yeah, that person graduated at this point and this day, and they did the MBA program, and now they're at this bank. Thousands of students. And it's because of her hard work, vision, and leadership, we are all here celebrating at this wonderful event. This is her brainchild, this is her baby, and I tell y'all this every year, you wouldn't even know where you're sitting if it wasn't for Pam. Because I would open the door and say, have a good evening. We'll see you at the end. But seriously, Pam, please let us recognize you. And we're going to continue to celebrate. If you want to be on the list, we're going to celebrate Pam all the way up through August, because we can never repay her for all that you've done for this program and for so many students. So another round of applause. Thank you. And I'm going to recognize one other person. So the university is so supportive of our banking program that we actually have a new member to the team, Heather Caudle, who joined us today. And she'll be working with Pam for this transition. But and if she comes back Monday, then we know that we have a winner. So anyway, welcome to the team, Heather. And again, thank you so much, Pam, and all of you. So at this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Ann Galliard back to the stage, the Vice Provost for Sam Houston State, to share a few remarks.
Good evening and welcome to our wonderful Sam Houston State University, home of the state's premier academic banking program. It is an honor to celebrate tonight's inductees into the 12th Annual Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. A special thanks to the College of Business Administration, the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking, and our sponsors for hosting this wonderful event. And many thanks to all of you for being here tonight. As Jill mentioned earlier, the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame was established in 2013 by the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking and recognizes and honors the accomplishments of outstanding bankers who have made valuable contributions to the banking profession and who pioneered the Texas banking industry. 54 bankers have been inducted into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame thus far. And tonight, we celebrate 5 new inductees who have made unique and significant contributions to the banking industry. These significant contributions have positively impacted businesses, families, communities, and our state to the benefit of us all. So many exciting projects are currently underway at the university. This fall, Sam Houston State University will stand up the Polytechnic College, which will provide additional pathways for students to pursue a college education in support of the state's goal of building a talent-strong Texas. And by 2027, the university will add physician's assistant and Doctor of Physical Therapy programs. Both will be housed in the new Health Professions building, which is currently under construction at our Conroe campus. By this time next year, the College of Business Administration will have a new Smith-Hudson Financial Center and trading floor. Today, I had the pleasure of attending an awards ceremony for the Measure of a Life Student Essay Contest. This essay contest reflects the Sam Houston State University motto of the Measure of a Life is its service, and emphasizes the value of giving back. Tonight's honorees embody both giving back and paying it forward, as all of them are leaving lasting legacies for the future Texas banking industry. I have the highest respect and sincere gratitude for your outstanding examples of service to others in your communities. You are an inspiration to those that you serve. Congratulations to all of the inductees and your families. Please enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments and your valuable support to our program. The accomplishments of our university and our students make me very proud to be a Bearcat and here at this university. Okay, so let the celebrations begin. As I call on the presenters, I ask that you come to the stage using the stairs to your right, my left, and proceed to the podium to introduce each honoree. And after that, the honorees, please come to the stage from the same right side to accept your award. So we will begin recognizing Sam H. Burris Jr., and I would like to invite Walter Bennett, President and COO of First National Bank of Huntsville, to the podium.
Good evening, and congratulations to all the inductees. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce one of our distinguished recipients, Sam H. Burris Jr. Now, those of you that know Sam know he hates being the center of attention, so I can only imagine how uncomfortable he is about right now. To that point, I predict that momentarily we will hear probably one of the shortest speeches we've ever heard. at this event. Sam grew up in Alice, Texas, received a BBA of Finance from the University of Texas at Austin. It is there where he met his wife, Judy. Together they have 4 daughters and 7 grandchildren. Judy, this award is part yours as well. I know through the years while Sam was putting in long hours at the bank, making decisions and putting out fires, you were doing the same thing at home, all while having a career. I can only imagine how many functions you've attended through the years, too, supporting Sam. Hopefully tonight will be a little more exciting than some of the others. Over the span of his career, Sam worked at Alice National Bank, Brush Country Bank in Freer, First Security Bank in Beaumont, and First National Bank. Sam has held many titles over his career, such as Chairman of the Board, CEO, President, COO, and even Trust Officer, but none more important than being a community banker. I met Sam when he came to First National Bank in 1992 as President and CEO. Shortly thereafter, he was promoted to Chairman of the Board. When he arrived, the bank's total assets were approximately $118 million. Over the next 30 years, our assets grew along with our footprint. Under his leadership, the bank expanded to Crockett, Madisonville, Franklin, and Bryan College Station. By the time he retired in 2022, total assets had surpassed $500 million, and profitability was at an all-time high. In a few minutes, he will say that he cannot take credit for our bank's success. He'll say it was the team. But understand, a team is no better than its leader, and there was none better than Sam Burris. Sam has served his community by serving on numerous boards and committees both on the local and state level, including the Methodist Retirement Communities Board and Sam Houston State University's President's Circle. But he was especially proud of working with Dr. Bexley as one of the first members of the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking Advisory Board, where he proudly served for 25 years. Sam has always maintained a belief that a strong community bank is vital to any local economy. He created a culture within the bank that focused on the customer and doing things the right way. He led by example and had the respect of the shareholders, his peers, the regulators, and those who had the good fortune of working for him, as evidenced by his former employees here tonight. Please join me in welcoming Sam Burris to the stage.
Well, Walter, you blew it. You had 3 minutes and you took three minutes and 7 seconds. I just want to thank Jill Vaughn again for a lovely banquet, and I also want to thank her for the amazing job she is doing as our running our banking school. So thank you so much, Jill. I'd like to thank Walter Bennett, President and Chief Operating Officer of First National Bank of Huntsville, for that kind introduction. It is my understanding that Walter and John Sanders, who is Chairman and CEO of the bank, along with other members of the bank's management team, were responsible for my nomination for this honor, which makes it even more special to me. I'd like to introduce my wife, Judy. I heard all those titles that Walter was tossing around up here a minute ago, and I want to tell you that I have never been CEO at home. So, Judy, would you raise your hand? I would also like to recognize all of the directors, officers, and employees of First National Bank of Huntsville, some of whom are here tonight. I could not have worked with a finer, more talented group of bankers than these for the past 32 years, and they all have my respect, admiration, and affection. I want to express my gratitude to the shareholders of First National Bank shares of Huntsville. I am proud to have worked with such a fine group of people. Their support of the bank, its employees, the communities it serves, has all been amazing. I want to recognize Jim Coleman, who served as Director and President and Chief Operating Officer of First National Bank of Huntsville for 28 years. I had the privilege of working with Jim on 3 different occasions in my career, and I can tell you that he is a talented banker, a fine man, and a wonderful friend, and I am fortunate to have been associated with him. Jim, raise your hand, please. I'd like to thank Sam Houston State University, its College of Business Administration, the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking, Chairholder Jill Vaughn and her amazing team, and all who supported my nomination for this honor. I'd like to congratulate each of the other honorees on their induction into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. My association with the banking program at Sam Houston State, and Walter touched on this, goes back to 1997 when I learned of the amazing gift from Mr. Smith and Mr. Hudson to establish the endowment for the banking program. I was asked to attend a series of meetings to meet the candidates for the position of chairholder, and Jim, you were in on those meetings as well. As we know, Dr. Bexley was hired and did a wonderful job. And after that, I was asked to serve on the advisory board of the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking. This was also in 1997, as I recall, and I served on that board until my retirement from the bank in 2022. Serving on that board was very gratifying for me, and First National Bank has proudly supported the banking program as a diamond sponsor of this banquet, seminar, and golf tournament since its inception. We have contributed to the construction of the high-tech banking room and participated in the internship program, as well as hired a number of program graduates. It's been so gratifying to see the outstanding young men and women who have come through the banking program so well prepared for a career in banking. And I have just a couple of remarks left, and they're really directed towards the young bankers in the room and the students in the banking program. As I've mentioned, I've been a community banker for about 47 years. Took a course in my senior year of high school called General Business, and upon completion, I was very fortunate and knew that I wanted to study business in college. In the second semester of my second year of college, I came across 2 subjects that fascinated me: Judy Johnson, the CEO, and money and banking, and that's when I decided to become a banker about 50 years ago. I've been very fortunate in my career in so many ways. One of the wonderful things about working in a community bank is the number of people that will take you under their wing and teach and share their experiences with you. I was going through some tax records, working on income tax a while back, and actually came across some notes that I took in my training program in the first bank that I ever worked for. These people really went out of their way, and it was about an 18-month training program, and I went through most of the areas of the bank. And then after I would get through in a certain area, I would sit down with my bosses, excuse me, and we would talk about my experience, and they would kind of fill in the blanks for me. And here's some of the things that I had in my notes. The term fiduciary duty does not apply exclusively to the funds in the bank's trust department. It applies equally to all of the funds we handle in the commercial bank. Bank regulators have a tremendous responsibility. Do everything within your power to establish and maintain a good relationship with them. They are a valuable resource for the bank. Learn everything you can from the people you come into contact with in the bank. Not only will you expand your knowledge of banking, but you will appreciate the difficulty of their jobs, the skill with which they perform them, and you will learn to value them as your co-workers in the bank. And then finally, to earn the trust of your customers, employees, shareholders, board members, and regulators is the measure of a successful career. And that sounds a little bit like that motto you mentioned a few minutes ago, Jill. Much has changed in the banking business in the last 50 years, and I think it'll change a lot faster in the future. But I think these lessons that I just mentioned are as relevant today as they were back then and when I first began my banking career. Thank you so much for this great honor.
Thank you, Sam. And thank you for all you've done. He's been a tremendous, tremendous support, he and the bank, to our program for, as he said, many, many, many years. Our next inductee is Charles G. Cooper. And at this time, I'd like to call Brad Tidwell, President and CEO of Vera Bank.
Thank you, Jill. And let me first say congratulations to all the inductees tonight. I know it's very well deserved on everyone's part. And it's a thank you for having me. And it's a great honor to be here. And it's a great honor to be able to introduce a man who needs no introduction, Commissioner Charles Cooper. And I really do this representing Linda and Crystal and Carrie and Annabelle, the four women that are the co-CEOs in Charles's life. I think y'all all know that. But I first met Commissioner Cooper in July of 1984. Right out of college, I went to work for Allied Bank Shares, where he was the chief credit officer and regional chairman. Following June, I was pulled out of the credit department and told I was going to work directly for Charles, which I did for the next 9 years. Department of Banking folks, I know your struggle and I feel your pain. Since I only have 3 minutes and I've already used 30 seconds, I'm going to get right to the point. Charles Cooper is not being inducted into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame tonight because he was a great banker or a great banking commissioner. He is both of those things. But those are just simply symptoms or results of why he is really here. In a day and age when we are greatly lacking in leaders and leadership around our country, Charles is a leader of the highest order. He is many things. He does many things so well in this realm. And here are a few things that I think make the point for me. Charles leads from the front. No one ever has to go by themselves. He knows that he's going to be out there in front. He doesn't ask you to do anything he wouldn't do. I've never known anyone in his position as commissioner that joins community bankers from Texas and all over the country on the Hill in D.C. and in Austin to advocate for an industry that, yes, he regulates, but more than anything else, he supports. Charles never shrinks from a challenge. The road less traveled will always be taken if it is the right path, regardless of the degree of difficulty. Charles mentors and inspires. I can tell you for certain, I would not be standing here today, and what limited success I have had in my career is due to his mentorship and leadership and giving me opportunities he probably should never have given me at a young time when all the banks in Texas were failing. And I can tell you there are many others who could tell you similar stories. 1987, Tom Petty wrote a song, and the most famous line is, "You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down." I think Charles and Tom were friends. I'm going to tell you a real quick story about Charles and Richard Cordray. Richard Cordray, of course, was the CFP director. We are in D.C. Charles arranged a meeting for us to talk about real estate, home lending issues, HMDA issues, all that. We did not agree with Mr. Cordray. We get there, we have a meeting, we still don't agree when we leave the meeting, but I could not believe the reverence with which Cordray paid to Charles, the graciousness he showed us, the way he talked to Charles, and it was like they were long-lost high school buddies. After the meeting, and we were at the CFPB, so we might have needed a few adult beverages later to help us get through that. We went to a local watering hole, and I said, Charles, what's the deal with you and Cordray? He said, we had one meeting. Early on, we met for the first time. He began to tell me how bad we were, how bad community bankers were, how bad banks were, and all of this, and everything was horrible. And he said, and only the way Charles Cooper can do, he explained to him why he was wrong, and that if they were going to have a business relationship, it was going to need to be a little different. There's going to be mutual respect and professionalism. And I think to this day that still exists, and that shows you something about Charles. He doesn't care where you're from. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care how much money you have. He doesn't care about all that other superfluous stuff. He cares if you can work hard, if you can add value, you can do the right thing. He is what we want people to be in the form of leadership. And if you can do those things, he will support you, and he has supported me for many years and many other people. Yes, Charles was a very good banker. He is an excellent banking commissioner. He is all those things. But the intangible characteristics that he possesses that few do, unfortunately, today, and the impact he has on others is why he is here tonight. Charles likes to say he's tough but fair. And while that is true, what Charles really, the characteristic he really has, that he exemplifies the most, that I think is most important to all of us, is quite simply, he gives a damn. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brad. I'll have to say I haven't thought about Richard Cordray in a long time. But I did say about a year ago, I wish we had him back. Anyway, long story. So it is certainly an honor to be inducted into the Hall. It's especially important to me because the Smith in the Smith-Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking is Gerald Smith. So I was a bank examiner with the FDIC for 13 years when Gerald talked me into coming to work for him at Allied Bank. And so what Gerald and Robert have started here in Sam Houston is extraordinary. I, too, have been on the advisory board and been able to work with Jim Bexley and now Jill Vaughn. And it has really been a rewarding experience. And I think many of us will believe that this is a special place. And I would also like to thank Pam Thayer for her many years of dedication. And particularly thank you for the nameplates, Pam, so we could all know where we were going to sit down. So in putting my thoughts together for tonight, I came up with family, relationships, and transitions. So my family, I'm honored to have them here. My lovely wife, Linda, we've been married for 54 years, 54 years. My two daughters, Crystal and Carrie. And then our granddaughter, Annabelle, who is now a senior at Texas A&M. And Annie has a test in the morning, so she may be leaving a little early tonight. But I'm very proud of all of them. So because of a relationship with Gerald, I went to work at Allied Bank, and that's where I found out how important community banking was, and that resonates with me today louder than ever. So Allied was sold to First Interstate, that was sold to Wells Fargo, and in thinking about it, every bank that I worked for got acquired. But in 2001, I had the opportunity to go to work for a group of investors that purchased a problem bank in California. And what was expected to be a quick 18-month turnaround turned out to be 6 years. And Linda and I commuted California from our home in Dallas for 6 years because we didn't want to give up our Texas residency. But in the end, we sold the bank. Investors made a reasonable amount of money, and we returned to Dallas. And I was working for the Ford Group. Again, good people, good relationships. One day I was driving into the office and I got a call from someone representing Governor Perry that asked me to put my name in the hat for banking commissioner. So I went home that night, Linda and I talked about it. It was a very interesting conversation. But we both came away with determination that the banking industry had really been good to us. And this was an opportunity for us to give something back in the form of public service. So in 2008, I became, in the middle of the Great Recession, I became the banking commissioner with the thought that bank regulators could work with bankers to make things better. And I believe that today. So here we are, nearly 16 years later, and the banking department has become our extended family. So at our table tonight is Wendy Rodriguez. Wendy's already been introduced. She's the deputy commissioner. I always say that Wendy actually runs the department. We have, and most introduced tonight, most of our management team is here tonight. I want to thank y'all for your hard work. I want to thank you for what you've accomplished, and I want to thank you for your dedication to the citizens of Texas. The Finance Commission has given us the support and the tools that we need to do the job. The trade groups, IBAT and TBA, have really been supportive, and I want to thank Christopher and Chris for that special relationship. I need to also thank a Conference of State Bank Supervisors. Now, that's the organization that we have in D.C. that helps us on training. It helps us work with our federal counterparts. It helps us to deal with issues in Congress, and God knows we have a few of those issues. But Dana Barbieri is here tonight. Dana leads our legislative team. I first met Dana on my first trip to D.C. as commissioner when I met with Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson to talk about something called the Dodd-Frank Act. And then Mary Beth Quest is here. Mary Beth has supported me through 2 terms on FSOC, going into my 2nd term on the FFIEC, and establishing the Bankers Electronics Crimes Task Force. So thinking about everything, thinking about family, thinking about relationships, thinking about transitions, I have to say that I've been blessed. So thank you for this honor.
You know, thank you, Commissioner. You know, back to that JOB, the Texas Department of Banking does an incredible job, as the other regulators do as well, but hiring our students. And it's such a great opportunity for our students to learn so much about the banking industry. And every time I see Charles, he says, Jill, we need more Bearcats. So thank you so much for that, because it's a conscious effort, and we really, really appreciate that effort. Now I'd like to ask our good friend David Boney to come up, CEO of Broadway Bank, to introduce Harvey Hartenstein.
Good evening. First of all, I didn't know that they were actually going to have the bio attached today, so I may have a few things that y'all may want to fact check as I go through my presentation tonight. But I'm honored to be here, and just first of all, wanted to tell everybody thank you for the other folks being inducted tonight. Just congratulations, what a great honor. And it's a great honor to be here tonight and introduce Harvey Hartenstein. And I will tell you, it is a classic tale of a Texas success story. And you think about Harvey's journey, he started out as a teller, and over the next 4 decades has progressed through the ranks and become president and board member at Broadway Bank, and is a recent inductee into the San Antonio Business Hall of Fame. With a solid name like Harvey Hartenstein and the alliteration, I would love to use that to talk about my friend Harvey and use words that start with H. And so first up is humble. Harvey is the byproduct of his parents, World War II veteran, and his mom was a war bride from Germany, and something he's very, very proud of. Despite losing his dad at a very, very early age, Harvey overcame life's hardships and found himself beginning his banking career at Windsor Park Bank in 1980. He rose through the ranks, navigated the bank meltdowns in Texas in the 80s, and then landed at Broadway Bank about 33 years ago. During that time, he served numerous roles, including being asked to start up the private bank division. Did a great job doing that. Did such a great job. Then they asked him to go to this weird place called Austin, and he then stood up that department for us, was the president there. And when I came 9 years ago, first thing I did is I said, hey, Harvey, I need you to come back to San Antonio because we're going to partner together and we're going to build some really, really good stuff. And so I value that and really, really cherish that relationship. Second word for Harvey is hustle. Harvey has a motor. He is energetic, and you can also say hustle. Another word for him is business development. And for Harvey, in Harvey's mind, there are 2 kinds of people in this world. There's those people that do business development and those that wish they did. And Harvey is obviously one of those people who does it. He's famous for his handwritten notes, his late-night phone calls, his weekend phone calls. He's the guy that shows up for the wedding. He's the guy that shows up for the funeral. He's the guy that shows up at closing just to show that he cares. He's that genuine person. Some of you also may know that Harvey has legendary networking skills, and he's always looking for an opportunity to connect, always building relationships, and always looking out for his community. He's known for his infectious smile. He's a sharp dresser, sharp suits, and his knack for connecting with people. He's also legendary for his business cards. Not just a professional tool for him, it's actually a badge of honor for him that he hands out with remarkable talent and ability, and it's his way of connecting and his representation of, hey, you mean something to me. I want to make sure that if you need something, I'm your guy. The third word for Harvey, though, is heart. So beyond all of the network, all the success that he's had in his business career, there's a softer side to Harvey. There's 3 women that have profoundly shaped his life. His mother, Eugenia, his wife, Margaret, 34, 35, 37, 40 years. It probably feels like 50 or 70 knowing Harvey. A long, long time, but a long-time marriage, and his daughter, Allison. And Harvey, your love and admiration for them are clearly evident to all who know you. They are your inspiration, your rock, and the reason behind your remarkable success. Harvey also loves the community he serves. He's a board member, he's a board advocate, he's a frequent volunteer at everything from the local children's hospital to his alma mater, Texas State, Mission Road Ministries, and Night in San Antonio, where he's known to work the beer booth or 2, and with every beer comes a business card. And so he's fabulous at his networking. And they say you can tell a lot about a person about the questions that they ask. And in San Antonio, for whatever reason, one of the questions that we always ask is, what high school did you go to? And people always say, well, why do you ask that? And it's indicative of Harvey's trying to relate, right? You're trying to figure out where they're from, trying to understand who they are and show a genuine interest. And that is something that just is incredibly impactful for Harvey. because he can meet and serve anyone, anytime, anywhere. He also understands that success isn't just about the numbers, it's always about the people. And he does an amazing job, not only with his customers, but his coworkers, his Broadway bankers as well, and those in the community. And so at Broadway Bank, we have a saying that it's a great day to be a Broadway banker. And I will tell you, one of the reasons for that is that we have people like Harvey, 33 plus years there, always has a smile, tireless years of service, unwavering commitment to excellence, unwavering commitment to making sure that the world is a better place. So before I conclude, I want to share some numbers with you. And we're very, very proud of this, is that the number is 4. Harvey becomes the 4th person associated with Broadway Bank to be inducted into the Hall of Fame here, joining Charlie Cheever Jr., Joe McKinney, Jimmy Googe, and now Harvey. The number 3. This is probably lowballing it a little bit. If you think Harvey, over his career, on average, has given out 3 business cards a day for over 4 decades, 16,400 plus days he's been doing this, you realize that a box of cards has about 200 in it. He has reordered over 250 boxes of cards and handed out over 50,000 business cards during his career. And sometimes I wonder, I should have gone into the printing business, because that's a whole lot of money right there. The next number up is the number 2, and these are career choices. And so for those of you who may not have known Harvey during his earlier age, I know he has some of his high school buddies here today. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, I think long hair was kind of in, beards, T-shirts, a few other things that happened in life. Harvey went through a vocational program at his high school, and he had a career that he was destined for as a paint and body guy at the local automotive dealership. So that was number 1. His other option, though, was an opportunity to work for a bank that required him to get a haircut, shave the beard, buy a button-down collared shirt, and show up at the bank. And so, Harvey, we're glad you chose number 2 and got the haircut. So glad that happened. And finally, number 1 is, since I've had an opportunity to work with Harvey, we've always had a saying that at Broadway Bank, there's only room for one Harvey, because he's that unique. And we are so blessed to have him as part of our Broadway Bank family. And as far as I can tell, I think there's only one Harvey in the Banking Hall of Fame. And so at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Harvey, a very, very humble man with a ton of hustle and a huge heart. And now, the next alliteration, Hall of Fame, Hartenstein, as inductee into the Texas Business Hall of Fame.
It's going to be a hard act to follow after all that. Wow. Jill and Pam, I want to thank you so much for a wonderful evening and all that you all do for Sam Houston State. It's wonderful. And obviously the audience today speaks for itself. So thank you. David, thank you for those comments. Good evening, everyone. It is a tremendous honor to be here tonight as an inductee into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. Before I make a few short remarks, I'd like to again recognize my fellow inductees this evening. Commissioner Cooper, Bobby Hawksworth, Sam Burris, and William Nesbitt. They say a man is judged by the company he keeps. Well, tonight, that is truly a privilege. So thank you and congratulations to all of you. I'm also deeply honored to join the hall that inducts 3 of the banking legends who personally guided me through my career. Joe McKinney's here tonight. Joe, thank you for being a great mentor. Jim Googe, let's give Joe a round of applause. Jim Googe, and then I was also very fortunate to know Charlie Cheever Jr. When you're a rookie ball player, you hope all put together as a career that lets you follow the heroes into Copperstown. For a Texas banker, this is my moment for me. Now, as I reflect on the incredible moment, I am reminded how far I've come. As David mentioned, I started my career as a teller, and I'm where I'm at today, and how fortunate I am to share this evening with such a distinguished group of people. I'd like to thank Ryan Hudson, Deputy Chief Credit Officer at Broadway Bank, for his nomination and your support. Thank you, Ryan. Of course, David, the CEO and my boss at Broadway Bank, for the great warm introduction and your kind words. Thank you, David. I'm grateful for your support. I also want to thank the other Broadway bankers that are here with me today. Josh Loden, Blake Absher, Lori Logue, Carrie Johnson, and Gina Anderson. My career as a banker has been successful because of great bankers working along the side of me. And as I always say, our secret sauce is our talent. So a round of applause to all the talent that's in this room tonight. Also attending this evening is three great friends of 45 years who I attended high school with. Norm, Marvin, Mark, and your spouses, thank you for your friendship and your continued support through the many years. Thank you. I'm giving them a round of applause. They've been around me a long time. It is hard to stand here and not think about the profound changes both my career and Texas banking have endured over 45 years. In the old days, business was conducted a little differently. One of my earliest clients, and I had to put a little fun to this a little bit because I got lots of stories, but this one's a good one. One of my earliest clients was a former Miss Texas. She married a wealthy oil man, and as such, she had constant and frequent dealings with the bank. Meetings about her finance always took at a place at a private club in Austin where they served her champagne. And one day I had lunch with her, and she goes, "Well, Harvey, you need to have a drink with me." And I said, "Well, I can't drink at lunch. It's not appropriate. It's against the policy rules." And she goes, "No, I'm insisting. I'm old school. I need you to have a drink." I said, "Well, what are you drinking?" "Champagne." I thought, well, that's easy enough. I can handle that. So the waiter walks off, and she goes, "Joe, make sure that's got a kicker." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, what's?" And then I looked at her and I said, "What's a kicker?" She goes, "A shot of Everclear." I mean, geez, so I drank it, and I felt it. But upon the conclusion of the meeting, she jumped into her Lincoln. She had one of those big old Lincoln Continental cars, and she barreled down the streets of Austin. Well, I think about the changing banking landscape and how clients like that would be handled today. And I've concluded that all the technology in the world wouldn't change a thing about a banking relationship like that, except one thing. I would have been able to order her an Uber on my cell phone, because that was not around. But here we are today, and it fills me with pride and reflection, especially considering my humble backgrounds. My mother, as David alluded to, was a war bride. My father was a World War II veteran in Germany in 1946. And together they built a family bonded and grounded in love, resilience, despite coming from opposite sides of history. When my father unexpectedly passed away when I was 9, my mother, an immigrant in San Antonio, was left to raise 6 kids on her own. I was the youngest of the 6. She faced these challenges with unwavering strength, determination, and grace. She was also one of the best mentors of my life. And of course, this evening, today, I'm here with my wonderful wife, Margaret, is with me. Margaret, raise your hand. You're there. We recently celebrated 37 years of marriage. And I had somebody ask me not too long ago, because the length and tenure of our marriage is like, "So have you been married to the same woman?" And I'm like, "Yes." And that's a good thing. So 37 years, thank you, Margaret, for putting up with me for all these years. She has been my partner, my rock, my greatest supporter, although Margaret had her own career over 35 years. She was actually a credit union executive. So you can imagine our conversation in our house through the last many, many years. She stood by me through many community and countless black tie events, as always by my side, and here she is again tonight with me. And of course, our beautiful daughter, Allison's here. She lives in New York, and she obviously wanted to come down for the event. Now, I'm sharing something with you because I'm so excited that she's here tonight. She recently experienced ringing the bell, which is the end of treatment and the reflection of perseverance. She's only 33. For those who know the significance of that milestone, you understand why it means more to me than any award. Her most recent PET scan, which was 2 weeks ago, shows that she is now in full remission. Prayers were answered. You being here tonight has made a difference on how we celebrate this honor. Love you, Allie. My oldest nephew, David Brown, is also in attendance. He is more like a little brother to me. We are proud of him as he is a veteran and a recently retired Austin firefighter. David, thank you for being here. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the fine institutions that have educated me through the years. I'm a proud alumni of San Antonio College, Southwest Texas State University, Texas State today, Our Lady of the Lake University, and the University of Wisconsin. Each school played an integral role in my banking career, and I cannot stress the importance of education to each new banker I meet who is starting their career. Obviously, we have a great banking program here at Sam Houston State, and for all the young students that I saw out there, remember that. That education will get you to the next level as it did me. I want to acknowledge my work family. I've spent 45 years in banking, with 33 of those years at the wonderful institution called Broadway Bank. This recognition is as much reflection of the incredible support and influence that I've received from Broadway and the Cheever family as it is about my personal journey. The bank's dedication to community service, their brand, stressing education, and giving back has always been its core mission. That ethos still guides us today after 84 years. So 45 years in banking, all the way from a bank teller to this big stage right here, what a wonderful ride it's been. So I want to close by thanking each one of you for the connections, the lessons, the support along the way, and being part of an industry that I deeply love and have a passion for. What truly matters are the moments, clients' relationships, people who have been with me every step of the journey. It takes a village and a great team to make it happen. And when you've got the former Miss Texas knocking back shots and demanding better deposit rates, that sounds familiar today after 20 years, some moments stick out more than others. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this extraordinary honor, and I am blessed and humbled. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
So our fourth honoree tonight is Robert W. Bobby Hawksworth, and I'd like to invite Eric Katz.
Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and fellow banking professionals. It's truly an honor to stand before you this evening to introduce and celebrate a man whose impact on the banking industry and his community has been exemplary. My colleague and friend, Bobby Hawksworth, President and CEO of First National Bank, Texas. For more than 4 decades, I've had the privilege of knowing Bobby, witnessing firsthand his unwavering dedication to our bank, the banking profession, and the communities that we served. Bobby's journey has been one of hard work, perseverance, and an unyielding commitment to excellence. Bobby's career at First National Bank began in 1981. Not in an executive office, but in the mailroom as a student worker. From those humble beginnings, he steadily ascended through the ranks, proving time and again that leadership is earned through dedication, vision, and an unwavering belief in service. In 2008, Bobby was named president, and in 2016, he added the role of CEO. Under his guidance, First National Bank Texas has not only grown, but has thrived. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Bobby is a lifelong learner, earning degrees from Central Texas College, the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, and Baylor University, all while he worked full-time at the bank. A real testament to his work ethic and belief in education as a foundation for leadership. Now, Bobby's influence extends far beyond the walls of banking and our bank. He's dedicated himself to public service, economic development, and civic engagement. His tenure as council member and mayor pro tem of Harker Heights, along with leadership roles in organizations such as the Texas Bankers Association, the Killeen Independent School District Education Foundation, the Texas A&M University Central Texas Foundation, the Greater Killeen Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau, the Killeen Heights Rotary Club, and the Central Texas chapter of the Association of the United States Army, reflects his deep-rooted passion for the banking industry, his community, and military families. In 2022, his efforts were formally recognized when he was honored with the 3-Corps Good Neighbor Award, a distinction reserved for those who go above and beyond in their support of our nation's service members and families. But what really sets Bobby apart is not only his vision and his leadership, but Bobby has a way of empowering people. He really empowers others. He leads with humility, grace, and it's a profound sense of responsibility. He's not just a banker. He's a mentor, a community champion, and a steadfast advocate for progress. Tonight, as we celebrate his induction into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame, we recognize not only his personal achievements, but also the lasting legacy he has built. A legacy of integrity, service, and an unwavering dedication to the people, the bank, and the community that he holds dear. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating 2025 Texas Banker Hall of Fame inductee, Bobby Hawksworth.
Evan Katz, thank you so much. What a kind introduction and for being here tonight. Congratulations to my fellow honorees, Sam Burris, Charles Cooper, Harvey Hartstein, Bill Nesbitt. Congratulations to all of you. Being inducted into the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame is indeed a special honor. I find myself in the midst of true legends in our industry. Who would have thought a 17-year-old vocational office education student that began in the mailroom of a $100 million bank in Killeen, Texas in 1981 would find himself here today. Having had the privilege now to work for the same bank and the same ownership family for now over 43 years, I am forever grateful to the Katz family, and to Mr. Evan Katz, you have allowed me to live out my dream to help build a truly special bank. Anything that I've been able to accomplish in my life and in my career are the result of blessings that have been placed all along the way and all along this journey. God has directed my steps, and He has placed special people in that journey. While I don't have time to thank you all by name, please know that so many of you hold a very special place in my heart. I hope you will allow me to say thank you and introduce you to just a few of the special blessings that are here with me tonight. First of all, my dad, Rick Hawksworth, and his wife, Nancy, my stepmom, are here. Dad is 95 years young, and still he finds time to pray for me every day like he has done every day of my banking career. He taught me to love God, the value of hard work and determination, to embrace every challenge, and in everything I do, to do it with integrity and my all. I am and will forever be grateful to you, Dad. Thank you. To my wife, Pat Hawksworth, she has been my cheerleader, my number one cheerleader for the last 40 years. She is my encourager, my confidant, and my best friend. And I am better because she is in my life. When I became president of the bank in 2008, she sent me on my very first day a single rose in a bud vase with a card to encourage me as I began a new chapter in my career. I want you to know I carry that card with me to this day. My brother Dwayne Hawksworth and his wife Lisa are with us as well. Dwayne is my way older brother. I did that just for you. He's been my pastor, and he has been my best bud all of my life. And most importantly, he and Lisa gave me the most wonderful niece and nephew that anyone could ever ask for. And a man who needs no introduction and was absolutely planning on being here tonight, but due to health reasons with his wife Joyce was unable to join us, my mentor of over 35 years, Mr. Terry Tuggle. Terry is a Hall of Fame banker, and in 1988, when he came to work at First National Bank, Texas, he took a keen interest in a very young banker, me. I am and will be forever grateful for his mentoring and friendship. And on those occasions, when Terry needed a little help and to double team me, he often turned to another Hall of Fame banker. It was our boss at the time, Jay Dreibelbus. Together, they worked really hard to help this banker be all that they saw in him. Finally, to all of my first family that's here and those that couldn't join us tonight, many of our directors and executive officers are here. To you and all of the First family, I say a huge thank you. Thank you for your support. Your steadfast work has built a truly great bank. And I am thankful that I get to continue every day to build it alongside each and every one of you. Thank you for this tremendous honor. It is the honor of a lifetime. I'm incredibly proud to be a community banker and work in such a noble profession where every day we get to make a difference in the lives of our customers, our employees, and the communities that we serve. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bobby, congratulations, and thank you so much. He's also on our advisory board of our Smith-Hudson Advisory Board, and he does so much for our program, not only our undergraduates, but also for our executive MBA. Every year we have a student in our program that's sponsored by the bank, and we really, really appreciate all the support that you give us. Our fifth honoree tonight, William A. Nesbitt, and so I would like to introduce David Lacey, President and CEO of Community Bank and Trust, to introduce Bill.
First, a thank you, heartfelt thank you, to Pam Thaler. I've been to a lot of these banquets through the years, and they would not exist were it not for Pam Thaler. Thank you, Pam. The other inductees as well. And boy, I'd be missing a real opportunity if I didn't acknowledge the Baylor flavor that we've got tonight. So forgive me, all my Longhorn and Aggie and Bearcat fans, but there's a lot of good Baylor Bears in the inductee ranks tonight. Bill, Dwana, what a great team at Central National Bank. A lot of them are here tonight. And I can tell you it's a real honor for me to be up here and to introduce my friend and my mentor, Bill Nesbitt. Jill, I promise I'll go on and I'll stay within the required time frame, but as long as I'm hearing that thunder up there, I may be a little deliberate. Some of you fine folks can recall the early 1960s. In those years, lots of substantive change was going on in the world. Some can recall those years from memory. And the rest of you young folks, like those at my table tonight, y'all can just Google it. But my memory of the 1963 and 1964 time frame recalls substantive change in the world from many, many different perspectives, not unlike today. The escalation of the Vietnam War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, Civil Rights Act, Beatlemania, the Ford Mustang, President Kennedy's assassination, and President Johnson's election, and Heisman winners like Roger Staubach. I just couldn't pass that one up. And all those come to mind. And during those same exact years, my recollection of the Gatesville High School golf team and the Gatesville High School football team during the early 60s is just less clear in my mind. I had to Google that. When I Googled Gatesville High School, less content came up, and substantially less content came up. But looking back, those other Gatesville items, they were no less significant as far as the city of Waco is concerned than the aforementioned events. For in that same time frame, a Gatesville High School senior named Bill Nesbitt decided to attend Baylor University on a scholarship, and he moved to Waco. See, that was a very important day for Baylor, but really, most especially, it was a great day for the city of Waco. Perhaps not as important as the Beatles' impact on Waco, but important nonetheless. Bill Nesbitt attended Baylor and worked part-time at the Citizens National Bank, and later he attended Baylor Law School while working part-time. He later accepted a job at the bank. And surely that was a key day in the life of that bank. But in many ways, the day Bill accepted a job at the Waco Bank was an even bigger day for the city of Waco. It was a bigger day than it was for the bank itself. That's Bill Nesbitt, always going one or three extra steps to better his hometown. In the next 60 years, I hate to do that to you, Bill, but that's the math. In the next 60 years, Bill's role with a few dozen local Waco organizations proved to be transformational in those organizations. He didn't just lead the Baylor Bear Foundation, he totally restructured it. I mean, from soup to nuts. He didn't just lead the Waco Business League, he founded it and created it. And when the Doris Miller Memorial got off track financially, Bill stopped, helped raise a good bit of money, and put that memorial back on track and on sound financial footing. Today, that completed and paid for memorial stands proudly on the Brazos River to acknowledge one of Waco's bravest vets in World War II, a point of pride for everyone in our county. It was explained to me years ago that true leaders lead, but when they lead, they turn their head and they see a large group of people that are following them voluntarily. In 2007, the economy of Waco slowed just like everywhere else. The Waco city manager at the time asked Bill Nesbitt to lead the city of Waco bond election, $175 or $180 million, as I recall. And it was a really interesting effort, kind of quintessential Nesbitt. He put 10 separate items on the ballot. Vote yes or no on each item. Improve the convention center, yes or no. Improve Cameron Park, yes or no. Improve the water treatment plant. In the midst of what some call the Great Recession, I worked through the 80s and I beg to differ, but what some call the Great Recession, all 10 items on that ballot passed under Bill Nesbitt's leadership. People follow Bill Nesbitt, and they do so voluntarily. This award tonight is called the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. Sure, you have to be a good banker to be inducted, but in some ways, it's your investment in your community as much as how you are invested in your specific bank that gets you inducted tonight. If so, that qualifies Bill Nesbitt even more. Golly, on second thought, Bill Nesbitt's commitment to in the 1960s was even more important to Waco than the Beatles. So I'm proud to introduce Bill Nesbitt tonight as the newest member of the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm blown away by that. That's not what I expected. I'm going to fill in a few blanks here that David left with a lot of modesty. But let me say first, thanks to the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame for this evening, for this opportunity, and to Sam Houston State University, our host, and Pam Thaler, Jill Vaughn, Jacqueline Coffin. Wasn't prepared for that, but here we go. Thank you, David, for a very generous introduction. I want to use this time, 5 minutes. I'm going to do a little reading to keep me on schedule, but I want to use this time to say thank you to people that have made huge contributions to my life. My life in banking began when I was 17, and I trekked over to Waco to be interviewed for a scholarship. And scholarship was given by David's dad, Walter Lacey. And he was simply the giant in our part of the world. And so throughout the 7 years that I had, 4 years undergrad, 3 years of law school, during those 7 years, he provided me also with a part-time job. And I've often said, you know, I'm not sure which one was most valuable, the scholarship for 7 years or the part-time job, but I know they were both very, very valuable to my life. I was, in those part-time jobs, I started out a runner, and then I worked in the print shop, the bank's print shop, and I was a teller, and I was in the proof department, and I calculated interest on savings with a Marchand calculator. Some of you bankers out there, how many of you ever used a Marchand calculator? Some of you did? Okay, I see 1, 2. Oh, yeah, their hands going up. All right. And added zip codes to account addresses with an addressograph machine. Now, surely I got past the ages. Some of you are nodding. You remember an addressograph. Metal plates, this big machine, huge machine. You put 76712 or whatever on there. It was, it was not a fancy piece of machinery. And I ended up in the credit department, which I'd figured out several years earlier. That's where I would like to go. In 2013, the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame inducted its first class. That first class included Walter Lacey. As David Lacey introduced me a few minutes ago, I introduced his dad here in this room posthumously 12 years ago. Mr. Lacey was a natural leader. He was always kind, unfailingly fair. He was smart, and he was a gentleman. He was all those things, and I was kind of blown away by him and his gravitas. Some of my best friends are also my competitors. Top of that list is David Lacey with Community Bank and Trust. David is just like his dad in almost every way. The only difference is that Mr. Lacey was a tennis player, and to his chagrin, David was a golfer. And David was a damn good golfer who counted all of his strokes and expects you to do the same thing if you're playing with him, and it wasn't much fun for me. So the guy I tried to emulate really was a scholarship boy 7 years older than me. His name was Bill Kelly. He was a recipient of the scholarship in 1956, and he was running Lake Air National Bank in 1970. Over the 54 years, many of the bank examiners became friends with us at the bank. They wanted us to be a good bank. To name a few of the examiners in charge, starting in 1970, there was Les Mazik, Frank Brown, Preacher Knight, Ron Hall, Randy Fenimore, Angie Shoemaker, Gary May, Ben Nolte, and Grant Rada. Now, some of you out there know some of those names, maybe a lot of those names. Preacher Knight carried his typewriter in Old Blessed, a big, black, heavy case. And from time to time, he'd ask somebody if they'd like to put a motto or a slogan on his black case. So a kind of a poem that my dad had taught me when I was a boy with a sense of humor. He had a sense of humor. And always tell the truth and establish a reputation for veracity, so in a pinch you can lie and they'll believe you. So I made the mistake of putting that on Preacher Knight's case. And from that day on, Preacher never knew if I was lying or telling the truth. But it was a mistake. My dad was a rural mail carrier. He was a great one, too, and a great man. He was reliable, responsible, dutiful for all of his life's endeavors. He lived by the mailman's motto, whether snow or rain or heat or gloom of night, the mail must go through. My dad died a long time ago, and he was 56 years of age. My mother was a secretary to the elementary school, to the principal of the elementary school, and was a Sunday school teacher at First Baptist Church. She was our inspiration. Now, I'm going to be the only one here tonight that talked about their dog. But we lived on a farm southeast of Gatesville. My childhood playmate on that farm was a collie dog named King that my dad had rescued on his mail route. And until last March, my best friend was a golden retriever named Callie, and now it is mine and Dwana's cavalier named Katie. Dwana's the light of my life and the leader of the clan. We have 5 sons and 1 daughter. There is 1 son-in-law and 5 daughters-in-law. Now, that makes sense, doesn't it? The thing I'm proudest of is that they are all good human beings. They may not be perfect. I remember them as teenagers learning to drive. Pretty sure they're not perfect, but they care about people other than themselves, and they do some good in the world. I am button-popping proud of all of them, including 12 grandchildren. Think about that. 12 grandchildren and a lucky 13th scheduled to make his grand entry in a couple of months. The great bankers of Central National Bank are here tonight. I think all of us in here that have spent a lot of time in banking know that it's not, the proud and the mighty. It's the really good bankers that really know what they're doing and know how to do it with other people and know how to make other people's dreams come true. So the ones, I think virtually all of those people at Central National Bank are here tonight. There's the Chief Executive Officer, Joe Nesbitt, in whom I am very proud. Chief Lending Officer, Carolyn Hafferkamp, smart as a whip. Senior Lender, David Smith. And David's got a lot of stories he loves to tell about me, and I'm just saying, if any of you linger, he'll tell you one, and it's not true. I can tell you right now it's not. Chief Financial Officer, Mosey Holly. She and I are suite mates up on the 3rd floor in the building, and she gets there about 5:30, sometimes 5, and maybe gets shooed away at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Hardest working, smart as a whip. Director of Information Technology, Rusty Hafferkamp. When I can't get my computer fired up, Rusty, you promised that you'd be there real quick if I don't, if I won't say anything that I know about you here tonight. Where is Rusty? Oh, here he's on the far side. And President of the Temple Bank, Gary Schmidt, and President of the Downtown Austin Bank, Jason Becker. And all of them joined the bank at a time when they were desperately needed by the bank, and they all came through like the champs that they are. In the 1980s, this is our little interesting story, and I'm finishing with this. In the 1980s, when the big banks in Texas were failing, 7 families took a chance on us at Central National Bank. It was a $69 million bank in the suburbs in Waco. Times were bad, and the OCC required our investors to personally guarantee that they would put up more capital if it was needed. I think at that time maybe it was 7% of assets. So they all signed on, and I was astonished. The families are Chase, Olson, Rappaport, Beard, Culgen, Clifton, McLean, and Nesbitt. Now, 38 years later, the families are all still partners in the bank and in nearly equal shares. We have an agreement, something closer to a partnership agreement than to a shareholders agreement, to protect the bank's independence and its diverse ownership. We want Central to continue to be a great place to bank, a great place to work, and a great investment. Thank you all. Thank you to the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame. This has been quite an evening and an honor. Thank you.
Here's your hat. I told you they were all fabulous. So again, one other round of applause. We salute you all, and may we continue to recognize your contributions and impact to banking now and many years to come. So at this time, I would like to ask Pam Thaler to the stage to help me with the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame Executive MBA Scholarship. I want to thank the sponsors and the participants in this event. Because of that, each year we award scholarships out of the proceeds of this event. And we're going to award some scholarships tonight. Pretty cool thing. And so Pam, there's Pam making her way here. And so for our first scholarship, again, our Texas Bankers Hall of Fame scholarship winner of a $5,000 scholarship, Miss Gina Anderson, Vice President of Broadway Bank. If y'all will both come to the stage. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're so excited that Gina will be joining our new cohort in August. So congratulations. So we have another round of scholarships. So Ryan Hudson, will you join Pam on the stage representing the Smith Hudson Scholars Program? So just a little bit of introduction. For those of you not aware, the Smith Hudson Undergraduate Scholarship Program actually began in 1996. At the same time, they were endowing the $1 Million Endowed Chair Banking Program, the exact same time. So I want you to think of these numbers. Including the May 2025 graduates this year, the Smith Hudson Scholarship Program will have graduated over 1,146 undergraduate students across 5 universities: Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston State University, Lamar Institute of Technology, and Angelina College. Full ride scholarships. So do the math. 1,146 after this year, full ride scholarships. With the addition of these, there's going to be 180 new undergraduate students. Smith Hudson will have over 520 undergraduate students enrolled in campuses next fall. 520 students. Of that 520 students, 246 students will be here at Sam Houston State University on full ride scholarships from the Smith Hudson Scholars Program. And if that's not impressive enough, the program boosts a completion rate of those students at over 80%. It's really an incredible program because of the support those students receive. And we have a number of students here tonight. If you're a Smith Hudson scholar, either you've already graduated or you're currently a student now, please stand and let us recognize you. Graduate and undergraduate. So in an effort to continue the Smith Hudson generous support of our great university and our College of Business Administration and its endowed chair of banking, Smith Hudson last year, for the first time, introduced new EMBA scholarships up to $40,000 per student. And last year we awarded 6. 5 to the incoming cohort, 1 to the second year cohort, and we're repeating that this year. So we're going to award those scholarships tonight. In addition, and I think it was mentioned earlier, the Smith-Hudson Foundation is in the process of starting a new trading floor with a generous endowment here at Sam Houston State University. And so we're going to have a full live trading floor starting in August of, well, some of the courses come online this August, but the floor will be ready by 2026, I believe. Shark? Yes. And so we're so excited that that program just continues to reward our college. So we're really, really excited about that. So students, these are all incoming to our Executive MBA this year. So please come forward as I read your name. And the first award recipient is Rhonda Franke, Vice President of Karnes County National Bank. So picture. Congratulations. Our next scholarship winner is Nicole Keller, Assistant Vice President of Amagi Bank. Our third recipient tonight is Ashley Nagel, Vice President of Broadway Bank. Our next recipient, Matthew Para, Assistant Vice President, Origin Bank. Our last recipient is Rebecca Patillo, Vice President, Broadway Bank. Please give all these students a round of applause as they embark on this very special journey in their careers. We're going to get one more picture. It's not too late to sign up. We still have applications open until May, and you'll join these incredible students. Thank you again, and thank you, Ryan. And Pam, if you'll stay up here, we have one more presentation. You didn't think you were going to get by with that, did you? Over 26 years ago, Pam, working with Dr. Bexley, accomplished monumental tasks to start a minor, a major, an internship program, a job placement service, an EMBA program, a golf tournament and seminar, this prestigious gala, a mentorship program, and the Texas Bankers Legacy Fund, and many other things. Banking Day. She has played an integral role in producing this program of 1,388 interns and growing, 686 bankers placed in full-time jobs, and still growing as we're adding right now. Over $1 million in internal scholarships, not counting the ones I just talked about, internal scholarships. And this Texas Bankers Hall of Fame, which after tonight will have recognized 57 bankers for their Hall of Fame efforts. A round of applause. This is just a very small part of her many accomplishments. As we've said tonight, our own motto is "A measure of a life is its service," and Pam personifies this with her dedication to our banking industry across the state and our university. I would say it's a safe bet to say everybody in this room has been impacted some way, somehow, with Pam Thaler in the banking industry, either through you being a student that she's helped or helped your organization somehow, some way. In recognition of your years of dedication and hard work in carrying the history, vision, and excellence of our program forward, I am honored tonight to present to you, on behalf of our Smith Hudson Endowed Chair of Banking Advisory Board, $31,785 gift in your honor to our Texas Bankers Legacy Fund. And then on top of that, our Banking Day participants, so our friends of Pam, of $3,215, we're presenting a total check tonight to this legacy fund of $35,000. As you may know, the generosity of so many in this room, this legacy endowment was started about 2 years ago by our advisory board as a grassroots endowment which benefits our banking program and will live on in perpetuity, along with Pam, your vast contributions and many accomplishments which have benefited so many lives across our industry. You have worked selfishly and tirelessly in your loving and caring way to influence many, many, many lives of students and bankers while growing a program from nothing. You have done this with keen execution, perfection, and grace. We will be forever thankful for you, and we're going to continue to celebrate through August. You can retire from the college, but you will never retire from our hearts. Please let us recognize you.
Thank you so much. That is such a special recognition. And I know Jill well enough that I knew she was doing something. And I came prepared. First and foremost, I do want to congratulate the 2025 Texas Bankers Hall of Fame recipients. It has been such a wonderful evening of celebration, celebrating your many accomplishments and your dedication to the banking industry. The Texas Bankers Hall of Fame holds such a special place in my heart. As Dr. Bexley and I sat down together over 14 years ago, planning what the Texas Bankers Hall of Fame would even look like, we had no idea. What a success it has been. And his goal of recognizing outstanding bankers was and continues to be fulfilled. He would be so proud of where we are today. It's been such an honor and a privilege to work with the most tenured banking program in the country for over 26 wonderful years, 20 special years with our beloved Dr. Bexley, 14 with Jacqueline, and I just can't thank you enough for all you do. I couldn't do the things I do without you. With Steve, And of course now, 4 years with Jill. And it's been such a blessing. And been so fun. We have had a lot of fun, and we have a great team. And I can't thank them enough for everything they do. Working with our fantastic students as they prepared for internships and careers in the industry has been such a delight. Many who are here tonight holding key positions in the banking industry, and I am just so proud of each one of you. You make us proud, Bearcat proud. To our current students, I look forward to seeing what the future holds for you in this vital industry that changes lives every single day. To our industry partners, I'm so grateful for each of you, for your support of our program, our students, and of me over the many years. It's been a joy to work with each of you. To our Smith-Hudson donor and Robert Hudson, our donor representative, I'm truly grateful for each of you for your vision and your support over the many years. You are true legends, and it's been an honor and privilege to help carry out your mission. Lastly, I want to thank my best friend and wonderful husband, Rick, who has been my rock for over 40 years. He's helped tirelessly with every event, chair of banking event, right? And jumped in any way possible to help promote our banking program. I look forward to the next chapter in our lives, as to spend more time with each other and our family. Thank you so much for your friendship, this wonderful recognition, and memories to last a lifetime. It's been such a blessing to me. Thank y'all so much. Wow, that is just great.
Thank you, Pam. And again, if y'all want to be on the list for the party, because we are going to continue to party, because like I told Pam, that was told to me when I retired, this is a life event, and you've worked so hard, and you've done so much for so many others. And like I said, you can retire from the university, but you'll never retire from our hearts, and you'll always be part of our team. As we close tonight, I'd like to again thank and congratulate all of the honorees and thank our sponsors and all of you that made the drive up here to Huntsville to celebrate with your friends and celebrate with our banking. It's so fun to be together. I mean, this is the hardest part of this job on tonight is getting y'all in here, because it's such a great event for the banking industry and for us to see each other and enjoy the friendships and the camaraderie. I'm going to ask two things. All the honorees to bring their plaques and their presenters and their families to come here in the front of the room for pictures. And I'm also going to ask all the prior Hall of Fame inductees, all of you, Scott, Jay, Ron, Henry, all the people that are out there, to please come up with our current inductees, and we're going to get a great group picture. We did this a couple of years ago, and it was super special. We want to do that again tonight. Also very important for those of you attending the Bank Directors and Executives Seminar, we'll be back here. We had some logistics change this year, and so we normally would be at Elkins Lake. They're having their member guests, so we're doing the seminar here. For those of you that are accustomed to going, your car is going to go that way, but we need it to come this way. And 7:30, we have amazing speakers. Tomorrow we have Dory Wiley is speaking. We have our Forvis partners doing an accounting update, and then we have Dr. Ray Perryman, who is a great treat, sponsored by David Lacey, updating us as well. Thank you, Dory. Dory is here every year for us. We really, really appreciate his partnership, his and Tex Gross. So with that, it's been a wonderful evening. I keep hearing the thunder. I think it's gone. And we just can't thank you enough for your contribution to the industry and to all these different educational programs. We work very closely. I introduced Dwight Gary earlier. We're tremendous friends. We share things all the time. We all the universities actually get together and talk about best practices, and we work together. And so thank you so much for hiring our students, all of our students from all the universities, giving somebody that chance, giving them that chance at social mobility. And I can't be more proud to actually help a student get in a profession that's been so dear and so great and blessed me and my family. So good night, safe travels, and thank you so much for supporting all of our inductees in a final round of applause.